Okay, ready to dive in?
Let's do it.
All right, so we're taking a deep dive into Good Energy by Dr. Casey Means. It's a book that's really been making waves lately, and for good reason.
It is. It really gets to the heart of a silent epidemic that's affecting so many.
Exactly, metabolic dysfunction.
Mm.
And it's something that Dr. Means argues is directly tied to our modern lifestyles and, well, a healthcare system that's, let's be honest, kind of broken.
Yeah, she doesn't hold back. It's a system designed to manage sickness, not prevent it.
And that's where Good Energy comes in. Dr. Means offers a framework for understanding this dysfunction, which he calls the trifecta of bad energy.
Right. Mitochondrial dysfunction, oxidative stress, and chronic inflammation. Three things that kind of feed off each other.
Creating this vicious cycle. And it's something that most of us are experiencing on some level, whether we realize it or not.
Absolutely. But here's the good news. Dr. Means also gives us tools to break that cycle. She really emphasizes that we have more control over our metabolic health than we think.
And that's empowering, right? It's not just about being a victim of our genes or our circumstances.
Exactly. Simple lifestyle changes can make a huge difference. Things like ditching processed foods, moving our bodies, prioritizing sleep.
All things we've heard before. But she explains the why behind them in a way that really clicks.
It's not just about willpower, it's about understanding how these choices directly impact our cells, our energy production, our overall well-being.
And one of the things that really jumped out at me was her discussion of the unholy trinity of food. Refined sugars, refined grains, and industrial seed oils.
Oh yeah, those three. They're everywhere, and they're wreaking havoc on our metabolic health.
And it's scary how many of these foods are marketed as healthy, right? Low fat, this, whole grain, that, when in reality, they're just contributing to the problem.
It's a bit of a wake-up call for sure, but the good news is, once you're aware of these culprits, you can start making different choices.
And Dr. Means gives us a ton of practical advice on how to do that. She even breaks down how to navigate the grocery store, what to look for on labels, how to make healthier choices without feeling deprived.
It's all about shifting our mindset from dieting to nourishing our bodies with real whole foods, foods that actually fuel our cells and support our health.
And that's a message I can really get behind. It's not about restriction, it's about abundance.
Abundance of nutrients, abundance of energy, abundance of vitality.
Exactly. And speaking of energy, one of the most important takeaways for me was the importance of understanding our biomarkers.
Our inner data, so to speak.
Yeah, and Dr. Means makes a really compelling case for why we should all be getting regular blood work to assess our metabolic health.
Even if we feel fine, because often metabolic dysfunction can be brewing beneath the surface, even if our blood sugar and cholesterol levels are technically within the normal range.
She goes into detail about which biomarkers to track, what they mean, and how they can provide valuable insights into our overall health.
It's like getting a peek under the hood of your car. You might not see any obvious problems, but a mechanic can spot potential issues before they turn into major breakdowns.
I love that analogy, and it's so true. Our bodies are constantly giving us signals, and it's up to us to pay attention.
And to take action. Because knowledge is power, but it's useless unless we use it to make positive changes.
Absolutely. So what would you say is the biggest takeaway for listeners who are just starting to explore this concept of metabolic health?
I think the most important thing is to remember that it's never too late to start taking care of yourself. Even small changes can make a big difference over time.
And Dr. Means provides a ton of practical advice on how to do that. She really meets you where you are and helps you create a personalized plan that works for your unique body and lifestyle.
It's about empowering yourself to become your own health advocate, to take ownership of your well-being, and to create a life that is both healthy and fulfilling.
I love that.
Yeah.
So for listeners who are ready to dive deeper into this topic, Good Energy is a must-read.
It's packed with science-backed information, practical tips, and inspiring stories that will leave you feeling empowered to take control of your health.
We highly recommend checking it out. And be sure to join us for part 2 of this deep dive, where we'll explore some of the actionable steps Dr. Means outlines for improving our metabolic health.
We'll delve into things like crowding out unhealthy foods, optimizing our sleep, managing stress, and so much more.
It's going to be a fascinating conversation, so stay tuned. Welcome back to our deep dive into Good Energy.
Glad to be back.
So last time we talked about the big picture, metabolic dysfunction, the broken healthcare system, and Dr. Means' framework for understanding it all.
The trifecta of bad energy.
Right. But now, let's get practical. What are some things we can actually do to improve our metabolic health?
Well, Dr. Means offers a ton of actionable advice in the book, and one of the things that really stood out to me was her emphasis on crowding out.
Crowding out.
Yeah, instead of focusing on what to eliminate from our diets, which can feel really restrictive, she suggests adding in more of the good stuff.
Ah, so it's about shifting the balance.
Exactly. Like, instead of trying to cut out all sugar cold turkey, start by adding more fiber-rich vegetables to your meals. The fiber helps regulate blood sugar and keeps you feeling fuller longer.
So you naturally crave less sugar.
Right. It's about working with our biology, not against it.
I like that. So what are some other examples of crowding out?
Well, instead of refined greens, choose whole grains. Swap out unhealthy fats for healthy fats like avocado or olive oil.
Yeah, she talks a lot about the importance of fermented foods, right?
Oh, absolutely. Fermented foods are great for gut health, which plays a huge role in our overall metabolic health.
It's amazing how much we're learning about the gut microbiome these days.
It really is. It's like a whole ecosystem living inside us, and we need to make sure we're feeding those good bacteria.
So it's not just about what we're eating, but also how we're preparing our food.
Definitely. Dr. Means encourages us to cook at home more often so we can control the ingredients and portion sizes.
Makes sense. And she provides a ton of delicious recipes in the book, too.
She does. And they're not complicated or time-consuming. They're designed for real people with busy lives.
Which is refreshing because so many healthy recipes out there require a culinary degree and a whole afternoon in the kitchen.
Right. Who has time for that? Dr. Means keeps it simple and practical.
Okay, so we've talked about crowding out, cooking at home. What are some other key takeaways from the book?
Well, sleep is a big one. Dr. Means emphasizes the importance of getting enough quality sleep for optimal metabolic function.
It's easy to overlook sleep when we're busy and stressed.
It is. But chronic sleep deprivation can really wreak havoc on our hormones, our energy levels, our overall health.
So what are some of her tips for better sleep?
She recommends creating a relaxing bedtime routine, avoiding caffeine and alcohol before bed, and making sure your bedroom is dark, quiet, and cool.
All good advice. And what about stress?
Stress is another biggie. Chronic stress can elevate our cortisol levels, which can contribute to insulin resistance, weight gain, and a whole host of other metabolic issues.
So managing stress is crucial.
Absolutely. Dr. Means recommends incorporating stress-reducing practices into our daily routines like meditation, yoga, deep breathing exercises, spending time in nature.
All things that can help us tap into that rest and digest mode.
Exactly. And she also emphasizes the importance of social connection. Having strong relationships can really buffer us against the negative effects of stress.
It's true, we're social creatures, and we need that connection to thrive. It's about finding that balance, right? Between pushing ourselves and also giving ourselves permission to rest and recharge.
Exactly. And I think that's something that Dr. Means really emphasizes throughout the book. It's not about perfection, it's about progress.
It's about making sustainable changes that we can stick with for the long haul.
And she reminds us that this is a journey, not a destination. There will be ups and downs along the way, but the key is to keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving for better health.
And to remember that we're not alone in this journey.
Absolutely. She talks a lot about the power of community and the importance of finding support. Whether it's a friend, a family member, a support group, or a health coach, having someone to share this journey with can make all the difference.
It's true. We're social creatures, and we need that connection.
Especially when we're making big changes in our lives.
And speaking of big changes, one thing that really struck me was Dr. Means's discussion of the limitations of conventional medicine. She makes a strong case for why we need to become our own health advocates.
Yeah, it's not about bashing doctors, but about recognizing that the current system is often ill-equipped to address the root causes of chronic disease.
It's more focused on managing symptoms than on preventing disease in the first place.
Right, and that's where functional medicine comes in. It's about taking a more holistic approach, looking at the whole person and addressing the underlying imbalances that contribute to disease.
And Dr. Means is a big proponent of functional medicine. She believes that it has the potential to revolutionize healthcare.
And I think she's right. It's about empowering individuals to take control of their health and to partner with practitioners who are aligned with their goals.
It's about shifting from a mindset of fixing what's broken to one of cultivating vibrant health and well-being.
And that's a message that I think really resonates with people. We're all looking for ways to feel better, to have more energy, to live longer, healthier lives.
And Dr. Means gives us the tools to do that.
She does. Good energy is more than just a health book. It's a roadmap for a healthier future.
It's a call to action. It's a reminder that we have the power to create the change we want to see in the world.
Starting with ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for anyone who's feeling overwhelmed by the state of healthcare today, or who's just looking for a more empowered approach to their own health, Good Energy is a must-read.
It's a book that will leave you feeling informed, inspired, and ready to take action.
We highly recommend it. And be sure to share your thoughts on the book in the comments below. We'd love to hear what resonated with you.
And join us next time for another deep dive. Until then, keep exploring.